I used Apple Vision Pro at the airplane yesterday, and it was the most surreal, the most impressive, the craziest experience I've ever had with a piece of technology in my life. In this video, I wanted to tell you everything about it, the experience, the comfort, the weight, the battery, the features, and how it just feels to wear a $4,000 headset on your head in front of people that are not used to seeing a $4,000 headset in your head. There's gonna be chapters and timestamps in the video if you just wanna jump over to the part that you actually wanna watch. But if I were you, I'd watch the entire video because there's just so many exciting things about it, and obviously some bad things about the Apple Vision Pro. So let's get started talking about the overall awkwardness on using it with a product that nobody has ever seen. So obviously, when I grabbed my Apple Vision Pro travel case and I opened it, immediately, the person right next to me had tons of questions about it. First off, he told me, I saw someone crazy at the subway using it, which was me. So that was kind of crazy that he showed me my own video, which was just mind-blowing. And then you could just see people around me looking at me, because was it awkward using the Apple Vision Pro at the airplane? Well, no, but so many people looking at you since it's just such a new product, such a revolutionary product, and such a, you're wearing something in your head, right? People just look at you. I mean, just even look at this shot right here, the flight attendant. She looked at me once, and then she looked at me twice. She looked at me probably 8 times because she was probably thinking like, can he look at me? What is he seeing? What is he doing? Is he working? Is he watching a movie? Like, there's so many questions that go through people's head, and it's just, was it awkward? No. Did I feel observed? Well, yes. So let's talk about the weight. Was it heavy? Because the Apple Vision Pro is heavy. It weighs just like an iPad Pro 12.9 inch, but I feel like the weight is actually well distributed in my experience with my personal head. I wasn't actually wearing the dual loop band. I was wearing this one right here, and it felt comfortable for me the whole time. I didn't feel the weight. So how were my eyes? Did my eyes get tired after about 5 hours of use? My flight was like 8 hours, so I used it for about 5 hours. I watched the movie. I did a bunch of things with it. Well, obviously my eyes did get a little bit tired after 5 hours. It's the same as if you're using your Mac for like 5 hours. Obviously, Apple Vision Pro, your eyes are literally right in front of a display, so your eyes will get tired easier. Will your eyes burn after watching an entire Avatar or after watching Avengers Endgame? No. But I mean, you're not going to feel the same as if you were just in real life. You are watching a movie in front of a display that is this close to your eye. So how was the battery life? It lasted me like 2.5 hours, but luckily I actually did have a power bank. So I just connected my power bank to the power bank. So I had unlimited power. So I mean, it's fine. It lasts you like around a movie-ish. If you're watching Avengers or Avatar, it won't last you for the entire movie, which is kind of crazy to think about. But if you're watching a movie, you're still, so you can, plug in a power source. So that was okay. So before we get into the features and everything, let's talk about the case, because the case is a $200 case and you want everything to be perfect. Now, in terms of materials, in terms of durability, what's cool about durability is that you can literally just drop it and it just stays there. It stands pressure very well and it doesn't like bounce or anything. It just stays there. So durability and protection and the feel of it and the feel of the inside, I mean, it's just so well made, and it will obviously keep your $4,000 Apple Vision Pro perfectly fine. Obviously, that's what you would expect with a $200 case. It feels great. You can put your power bank in it. Everything is perfect, except for me, my experience with this is that sure, it protects it a lot, but what I don't like about it is the size. I'm talking about traveling with it, right? The case is so massive and it has so much extra space with it that I don't need. That for traveling, for example, yesterday, I obviously went from New York to Barcelona, 8-hour flight, long trip. I had a bunch of stuff in my backpack. It obviously didn't fit. But in a casual day, I don't see this fitting in my backpack either. In my camera bag, for example, that's usually pretty much full. I could fit this, but I definitely can't fit this. It's very, very big. I actually did a quick comparison with the actual food tray at the airplane. It's like literally the entire food tray. So not the most comfortable to travel with, and technically this is a travel case for your Apple Vision Pro. You can just put it under your seat at the airplane and you'll be perfectly fine. So it was something that it's like, this is a bit tiny compared to that thing. I also wish Apple Vision Pro could like fold up a certain way or something. So in terms of traveling, it just takes up way too much space for me. All right, let's talk about the good stuff, entertainment. And that was surprised me by far the most. Look, I've tried AR, VR headsets in the past, and by no means there's nothing that even compares to what the Apple Vision Pro does for you. First off, let's talk about the Apple ecosystem integration. Just the fact that you can just grab a pair of AirPods, put them on, and they're automatically connected for your movies. Obviously, that's Apple. It's the Apple ecosystem. You expect it to work like magic, and it just does. You can open up Control Center just by your fingers, and you can select your AirPods. You can change up the volume really quick with the digital crown as well. And then the AirPods Pro actually having noise cancellation. I was just knocked out. Like, I couldn't hear anything. I just had my movie, and that was it. Because that's where immersion comes in. Just by swiping on the digital crown, you can be from your airplane, you can go to Yosemite, that's all snowed, and you can look all around you, and you've got Yosemite all around you, and you can start using Apple Vision Pro from there. Now, and just that experience by itself, AirPods Pro, and the immersion that it actually gives you from the airplane to just being somewhere else that you don't want to be in the airplane, you want to be home, right? That was one of the things that I didn't expect to love so much. Because here's the thing, we're going to talk about movies in just a sec, but just the fact that you could just be there with your AirPods, I just actually fell asleep in the middle of the mountains at night. Because yes, you can go up to Control Center and you can actually turn from day to night. So I was just looking at the views, isolated, and it was just, I felt relaxed. And I felt ready to go to bed. It felt like I was actually sleeping in the mountains instead of sleeping, with the big noise from the airplane and just looking at the same seat all the time for like 8 hours. Traveling for long periods of time is stressful, right? Unless you're traveling in first class, which that's a whole separate story. I always fly economy, and sometimes the people next to me is like all over my space, and you've got, it feels really like you're cramped, but just by swiping on the crown and just being somewhere else, it felt so crazy. I literally got goosebumps when I saw it the first time. I was like, what is going on? I literally only hear the birds, and I've got this. And then what was crazier is obviously watching movies. It felt surreal having an 120-inch display in the middle of your airplane seat. And let's talk about Apple TV Plus, because first, Apple TV Plus actually gives you a cinema mode. And what that cinema mode will let you do is literally change your seat. So you can be in the front seat of your cinema, in the middle seat, or in the back seat of the cinema. And something to note is that you can actually download offline movies on Disney Plus, on Apple TV Plus, so you can watch them later on the airplane. And fun fact, you can't download offline music yet on Apple Music on Apple Vision Pro. So that was kind of a bummer. I mean, I had obviously music on my iPhone, but I couldn't listen to music on my Apple Vision Pro. Inside of Apple TV Plus, you've also got 3 immersive experiences. Now, I actually watched 2, the Alicia Keys and the prehistoric planet, that you can basically be inside of the dinosaur world, and dinosaurs just pass right by you, and it's all like immersive. It's crazy that I didn't actually get dizzy, because on the Meta Quest 3, for example, I do get dizzy with like really immersive things. I didn't get dizzy at all, and I was actually inside of an airplane in another planet with a bunch of dinosaurs. So the Alicia Keys experience as well, it was top notch. She's so talented, and you're actually inside of her studio, and people pass right next to you, and you feel like right there, and you're not supposed to be there, and you're just listening to everything. Crazy. And then no Netflix. Having no Netflix on the Apple Vision Pro is truly a bummer. I'm sure it will come eventually, and people will say, well, yeah, you can actually watch Netflix movies on Safari, but guess what? On Safari, you cannot download offline movies, so the bummer is that you cannot watch Netflix on the airplane because you can't download offline movies. So that was a big bummer as well, because what developers can do is so massive. And take Disney Plus, for example, which is my next point. Disney Plus, apart from like being in the middle of the desert when I was super tired, my next favorite thing was Disney Plus, because what Disney Plus has done, and especially if you're a massive Star Wars, Disney, or Marvel fan, is crazy. I'm sorry I'm saying crazy a lot, but this product truly deserves me saying crazy 1,000 times in this video. So you've got 4 different places that you can watch a movie from. Probably my favorite one is Disney Plus Theater, because it's not like cinema mode on Apple TV Plus where you literally everything's black and you've got a massive screen, which is very cool as well. But Disney Plus Theater will literally make you sit inside of a theater, and you can look down and to the side, and you're literally in the theater. And what's the craziest part, and yes, I'm saying crazy again, is that you see all the lights, but when the movie actually plays, the lights of the actual theater turn off just like in real life. You can also watch a movie in the top of Avengers Tower, and you can see all of New York City. And when you play a movie, New York City will turn night and all the lights of the actual buildings will go out. You can also watch a movie inside of Monsters, Inc. scare floor. You can look around all around you and you're inside of the scare floor. Now here's the thing. Disney Plus allows you to watch full-on 3D movies, which was I've gone to so many movie theaters, and by far it doesn't even come close to the experience that you actually get. I know it's not real, but watching a 3D movie inside of the virtual Disney Plus theater, I'm sorry to say it, but it's just a better experience. And obviously you don't have the physical popcorn and you don't have, I know it's different and I hate to say it, but the experience is just better than in real life. And I truly hate to say that. What I'm about to say, it's like that is what 3D was always meant to be. 3D that is amazing quality, 3D that doesn't get you dizzy, 3D that truly immerses you, and 3D that makes you feel like you're inside of the movie. I also meditated. So there's the mindfulness app and you can do a 5, 10, or 20-minute meditation. You can do a voice meditation or you can just do a meditation by yourself. And everything just kind of turns black and you've got the breathe animation and how the breathe animation just suddenly like flows to you. It immerses you so much that helps you focus so much. Once again, I don't know about me, I haven't meditated that much in my life. I do meditate once in a while, but I haven't meditated that much for me to give out like such a strong opinion. But for me, I'm going to say it as well. It's been by far the best meditation experience I've ever had because it's so hard to focus today-a-days that this actually letting you immerse you in truly like a meditating world that is no distraction. You just see pitch black and this animation that comes to you to help you breathe. So as you can see, the overall experience was perfect for me. There was a couple things that weren't perfect, even though my experience was the best experience I've ever had with a piece of technology in my life. There were a couple things that were it just needs improvement or it needs software updates. I don't know if this can be fixed with the Generation 2 or with a software update, but with low light, I kept having these tracking failed pop-ups where either if I put my hands under my Vision Pro, for example, it suddenly just like buzzed out and went crazy and turned off and then turned again, because with low light, it obviously needs information from your hands or from the tracking. And when everything is like very, very low light, when the airplane, everything was like almost pitch black, it obviously had a tough time reading my hands, which gets me to my next point. Often when with my hand gestures, when there's a lot of light, it works perfectly. When there's a little bit of light, it works very, very well, almost perfect. But when there's low light, it doesn't work perfect at all. You kind of got to show your hands and make an obvious tap. If you just tap subtly, like if I just did it now with a bunch of light, it works perfectly. But with the low light, kind of had to do like this, which also bringing that to the awkwardness of everyone looking at me and just kind of like doing like this. When there was low light, it was a bit awkward, if you want me to be honest. I also wrote down in my notes that yes, I actually ate with my Apple Vision Pro. And at the beginning, it was kind of weird because I don't want to say this, but I didn't know where my mouth was. I mean, I did, but perspective is, it feels the same and your brain doesn't think it's the same in the beginning. But then once you know where your mouth is, which I know is weird to say, it's not like that, but it is in the beginning. Once you know perspective and everything, it's just, you're just eating like normal. And while I was watching my movie, I didn't have to take off my headset. I didn't need to watch my movie. I could just continue eating and just watch my movie as well. This product, for being Gen 1, for being the first product of its kind, it is way, way too good and has impressed me way too much. I had high expectations and it's just reached them on a whole other level. This product is history and will mark a new beginning for technology forever. If you want to watch me being part of history, me actually having my experience on actually picking it up and actually meeting Tim Cook, I definitely encourage you to watch I bought the Apple Vision Pro at the Apple Store at 5th Avenue in New York City. I traveled the entire world to just get it. I'm from Spain, so I had to travel the entire world. Or you can subscribe right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.